All right, shalom, family. This is Yehuda again, and we got some breaking news going on. If you've been living under a rock, certain individuals of wealth and prominence have come under some scrutiny, namely Kyrie Irving. He had tweeted, I guess it was, the link to a video that he watched called Hebrews to Negroes, written, produced by Ron Dalton. Also, he has books as well. Um, and Kyrie didn't really make his stance clear at first. So after all that, they labeled the film and the books as anti-Semitic. So then, if you're going along with the story, so they ended up trying to get him to apologize, and he apologized in his own way. But since he didn't frame it, since it wasn't qualified or an unqualified apology, they didn't accept it. So then they wanted him to pay $500,000. So he was going to pay $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League, and then the Nets were going to match that offer. Well, he goes to do that, and then they reject his money. And then this week, at some point, Adam Silver is supposedly having a meeting with him. And if you listen to Stephen A. and a lot of people, it's like he's either going to retire or he'll never play in the NBA again. He's just a terrible person. They're basically trying to erase Kyrie Irving, like they're trying to do to Kanye. Anybody who's speaking into the truth that they found out, right? So after all that, then the Brooklyn Nets wants to give Kyrie Irving more guidelines or steps that he has to do because he's been labeled as quote unquote anti-Semitic. So, and then Kyrie said, I can't be anti-Semitic if I know who I am and where I come from. Because he knows, or he believes, that he is Afro-Asiatic Shemite. Because one thing that we have to understand is people that are Ashkenazi Jew or Ashkenazi Jewish, however you want to frame it, they wouldn't be the only sons of Shem. Because he didn't just have one line. So I would suggest that we start looking into who are the other sons and daughters of Shem. It's really wild. It's really wild. So the other steps that they decided to come up with, this says, I'll just read the article. It says the suspension Brooklyn Nets star guard Kyrie Irving received after he shared a link to a documentary that pushed anti-Semitic views, now allegedly, has been the talk of the NBA in recent days. Brooklyn opted to suspend the All-Star for a minimum of 5 games after he refused to issue an apology for promoting the video. He did apologize. He said he was actually taking full responsibility. And then he was trying to articulate his stance, but they would not agree with it. And they would keep trying to badger him with the same questions that he's already answered thoroughly. This came after a major back and forth between the embattled guard and the media. Exactly, like I was saying. Upon issuing the suspension, Brooklyn assigned Irving 6 tasks that he must complete before returning to the team. Now, one major issue with this is, would that make it a breach of contract? Because he actually didn't say any type of anti-Semitic remarks. He didn't have any type of negative tropes on anybody. He says that he has love for all people of all walks of life, race, religions, creed, everything, right? So these are the 6 tasks. It said apologize / condemn the movie. Now, so you're going to make him condemn a movie that he was looking into for the history. That's what he said. He said that he looked into his name Kyrie. It transliterates to the name of the Hebrew God Yahweh. And then when he did that, it brought him to Hebrews to Negroes. He explained this all in interviews. And it's just like they don't even want to pay attention to that. So him looking that up is what brought him there, because he is a researcher of the truth. Then it says 500K donations to anti-hate causes. He tried to do that. The Anti-Defamation League, which should be supporting him, refused the money. That's not his fault. Now, this is where it's really starting to get a little worrisome, because now it says sensitivity training. So y'all want him to go to sensitivity training when he hasn't actually done anything, that hasn't made any type of negative remarks to make him be viewed as anti-Semitic. but he needs sensitivity training, and now he needs anti-Semitic training as well. So all of this training, this is starting to sound like re-education training, right? Like he needs to be reprogrammed to fit their mode, like he's bucking against the system. That's really sensitivity training. When all the hoopla was going on about the jab, and Kyrie was like, no, I have natural immunity. He fought it. And then now it's okay. He can play basketball anywhere without having to get that, right? But he's wrong. And then this time, all he did was posted a link to a video. Now, maybe he should have elaborated what he was getting in and out of the movie. Maybe. But it's his social media account. Like, this is the issue. He didn't say anything negative to him. He said nothing. He just posted a video because he's researching his heritage, learning his truth. And then now he's getting vilified because he's standing, because he's 10 toes down right now. That's wild. And anybody out there, y'all need to be paying attention, because as they continue to emasculate him and tear him down, what do you think they'll do to you for speaking your truth? It's like you can't even speak truth anymore. And again, it's just crazy because they're not basing it off of the words that he said. They're trying to control the narrative. And that's not a true narrative. They're not being truthful. They're not being fruitful. It's just wild to me. And then he has to meet with the ADL, or the Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish leaders. Now, he's already tried to send them $500,000 and then they refused it. So he has to go to sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, then go and speak to the leaders of the Anti-Defamation League, Jewish leaders. Now, Anti-Defamation League, that should be for all people, really, from all walks of life. But then it has Jewish leaders. That's a little bit interesting. And then it says you have to meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding. So then you have to pass a test at the end. And then your re-education plan is complete. Back to the plantation you go. I mean, that's just what it seems like. You're talking about a guy who's been crucified by especially Stephen A., one of the biggest turncoats that they have on the airwaves. All he does is just talk bash. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's insane. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the world. No, he's telling you, I do my research. We got to stop letting these media personalities control the way we think or control our reality, because it's not true. How you going to let somebody who doesn't even talk to the man tell you who he is, doesn't even know the man? He literally said, I'll probably never have a conversation again with Kyrie Irving this and Kyrie Irving that and da. So how are you going to tell us who Kyrie Irving really is if you don't even have a relationship with the man? That's called gossip. That's what that called. And one thing, like, read Proverbs 6, because, we know that there's 6 or 7 things the Most High hates, and it's a lying tongue. There's a lot of lying tongues going on surrounding this whole issue. I would recommend everybody to go watch Hebrews to Negroes 1 and 2. And you let us know where the anti-Semitic rhetoric comes in at. Because I've seen the first one. I'm getting ready to probably see the second one either today or tomorrow. And the first one, I didn't find anything anti-Semitic about it. I mean, I'm just going to be honest about it. Now, it's just wild to me. I'm just like, okay, he's quoting sources. He'll bring sources to the table, but he's not he's not stating anything. He even did a press release, which I gotta read it before I say anything about that. The creator of Hebrews to Negroes, Ron Dalton. Also check out Reclaiming the Throne. That gives you even more and more history. It's a 3-part documentary. It should be on Amazon. It should be on Vimeo. It should be on I think it's on Peacock as well. So it's on all those platforms. Check out those and get more history that's not taught in the education system. Because just like they're trying to do to Kanye right now, just like they're trying to do, because Kanye, I read an article where somebody called for a welfare check on him and they put him in the hospital. That's what I was hearing, at least. And all the stuff going on with Kyrie. Because that's why they came out with the movie a few years ago, Get Out, because they're trying to control every part of you. Not just your body. They're trying to control your mind. They're trying to possess your souls. People, wake up. This is not the time to be waking up just to fall back asleep. This is not the time. Like, what's been in my spirit here lately is we got to be. This is the time to be vigilant. Not pay attention to what they wanted to do, but pay attention to what's going on throughout the world, because they want these things to continue to be the hot topics, to lull us back to sleep. Now, so after the last one, right, meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding, right, the completion of the re-education plan. Apparently, this is not sitting well with the NBA Players Association, including Vice President Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. Now, imagine what happens if the NBA players actually finally stand up. Imagine what happens. Actually, let me correct that. Imagine what happens if they actually take a knee with Kyrie right now. We're living in crazy times right now. So it says, because he said that they're not. I'm going to read that part again. So apparently this is not sitting well with the NBA Players Association, including Vice President Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. I'm expecting the NBA Players Association to appeal the suspension from Brooklyn, the terms, etc., that went into his return. The terms for his return, they seem like a lot, and a lot of the players expressed discomfort with the terms. So now they're starting to see, because now if you're adding all this stuff on top of what's into your contract, because again, if it's not a part of your contract, how do they have the right to do that? They're trying to add to it. And that definitely shouldn't be legal. Discomfort with the terms, Jaylen Brown on the Kyrie Irving suspension. So the Players Association appear to be standing up. Now, what I'm really looking for is if are some of the NFL players, past and present, are going to be with Kyrie and stand up. I mean, Isaac Bruce did. Speaking of his truth of who he is, his heritage, his Nahala, where he comes from. So I'm just waiting, because the more we stand up, the more things got to change. And the change doesn't mean we're going to stay here. That's another thing. We got to start separating ourselves from this Babylonian system and mind. It's just wild to me. Wild to me. So this article I got from the Yard Barker, but the NBA Players Association are appealing this thing because a lot of the players, it says, are being discomforted. Wake up, Jacob. Stay strong. Be of good courage. Look to the hills from whence comes your help. And trust always. Have faith in the Most High. That's all I got for now. Again, this is Yehuda from YAH'S Assembly. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like and share our content. We're on Odyssey, YAH'S Elect Assembly. And until next time, as always, peace, family.